Welcome, beloveds. Welcome, family. Welcome to this experience of decoding the Aries solar eclipse. I am Astarius Miraculii, loving you with the passion of heaven and championing the intention to milk all of the miracles from this solar eclipse experience in Aries. I'm so honored and grateful for all of the beloveds that have tuned in. I honor you, and I feel so honored to be in co-creation with you. And I invite you to be aware of the fact that everything that emerges from the mouth of this moment is your co-creation. My givership and your receivership are equal partners in co-creation. The givership has nowhere to go without the receivership. And the receivership could not be enriched without the givership. Receivership and givership, equal partners in co-creation. So we're going to do a really deep dive in this evening's experience. I specifically chose 8 o'clock because the solar eclipse happens on the 8th of April, 2 days from now, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2-ish in the afternoon. And in the sign of Aries, the key phrase for Aries is, I am. This solar eclipse is about bringing us into a more intimate and resonant connection with the I am-ness of who we are. Key phrase of Aries, I am. Now, the power of I am is that I am is the name that we share with God in the family of life. Just as in a family, everybody shares the same last name. In the family of life with God, we share the name I am. Aries is a reflection of our beingness. It's a reflection of our personal marketing plan. Aries is the natural ruler of the first house of the zodiac, which is the ascending house. Aries is the frequency of the ascendant. The way that we market ourselves to life and to others, the way that we introduce ourselves to the world. It's the frequency of selfhood with which we lead. And so with this solar eclipse, new moon, first of all, I want to say something about the numerological energy, because it's a very significant numerological connection to the 8th. When we look at the year 2024, it's an 8. And when we add the 8 for the year to the 4th month, April, we have 12. And then when we add the 8 for the 8th day to the 12, we've got 20. And basically it's the resonance of 11 over 2. The numerological energy of the 8th of April is 11 over 2. So in this solar eclipse experience, we get to take a look at how do we dance with relationships. 11 and 2 are very much resonant with the relationship vibration. We want to make sure that we are aligning with the higher octave of 2, which is the 11. When we are in exclusive resonance with the 2, we give all of the power away to the other. 2 is the relationship. And so we have the opportunity to heal our sacrificial tendencies in relationship. This solar eclipse is exactly conjunct Chiron. It's very auspicious that the sun and the moon are 19 degrees of Aries, 24 minutes, and so is Chiron, 19 degrees of Aries, 24 minutes. They are exact, right down to the astrological minute. That's extremely powerful. Chiron is the planet of the wounded healer. So one of the wounds that we would be healing is the wound of sacrifice. The way in which we've sacrificed ourselves in the name of pleasing others. Sacrifice is always win-lose. When you sacrifice, they win, you lose. The shadow of 2 is sacrifice. And when we up-level the 2 energy into the frequency of 11, we're then at resonance with compassion. Compassion is win-win. Compassion will never let me hurt myself while giving to others. Compassion is a wisdom that will teach me how to give equally unto myself while simultaneously giving to others. See, compassion is balance, just as 11 is balance. The 11th key in the tarot is justice, and true justice is spelled J-U-S-T-I-S. In our system, we spell it J-U-S-T-I-C-E, and that's just ice. And we see that in many of our world governmental systems. They are just ice. They are treacherous unto the people. And so let us align in divine awareness with the frequency of the 11 that keys to the 8th, which is tied into the whole experience of the solar eclipse. And the fact that the solar eclipse is happening at 19 degrees of Aries. The 19th key in the tarot is the sun. And Aries, or let us say the sun, is exalted in Aries. And so we have this resonant connection with the sun in a good way, because this solar eclipse is in harmonic alignment with the North Node. And the North Node is life purpose unfolding into the future. So this solar eclipse is a declaration of life purpose, divine providence, and divine intention. Now, there are as many possibilities of outcome for this solar eclipse as there are imaginings in the beingness of all of the human beings upon earth. If we can imagine it, it has the possibility of actualization. So it's not a matter of waiting to see what will happen in our world as a result of this solar eclipse. It's a matter of what do we want to happen not only in our world, but also in our being relative to this solar eclipse. Let us turn the dial of our awareness to the version of reality wherein we are victorious, wherein we express our creativity. Aries is adventurous, creative, courageous, passionate, a leader, confident. And then in the negative side, it can be negatively domineering, egotistical, selfish. It's also an extrovert. But let us turn the dial of our awareness to the adventurousness of the Aries frequency, to the creative expression of the Aries frequency. In this solar eclipse energy, you have the capacity to tap into your creative expression in a way that is beyond anything that you've ever done in creative expression before. Align in divine awareness with creative expression, because the universe has got your back. The universe has got my back. The universe has got our back relative to what it is that we're wanting to create. This solar eclipse is a thrust of power and energy that backs creative intention. We can also create negatively by default. If we engage in fear, we are creating in a negative way by default. Because when one is in fear, whatever they're afraid of, they're actually breathing life force into and amplifying the likelihood of that negative thing coming about. Do not create negatively by default in expressing fear. It's so important to be aware of being invincible, invisible, and invulnerable to the resonance of fear, because a lot of people are defining the possibilities of this solar eclipse in fearful ways. If you've been surfing the net at all, I'm sure you've heard some of the negative predictions and some of the gloom and doom that media is attempting to sell. But we don't have to buy into that. Again, adventurousness of Aries, creative expression of Aries, courageousness. Let us turn the dial of our awareness to every version of our being that is in a state of supreme courageousness. Even when you're afraid, beloved, in that same moment, you have simultaneous versions of you, parallel versions of you. That's supreme courage. You can call these elder versions of yourself. We can call these elder versions of ourself into service unto our three-dimensional moments of fear. And fear can then be elevated into an intimate embrace with courage. Go to the center of fear and you'll find courage. Go to the center of fear, you'll find light. You'll find God. You'll find love. You'll find peace. Because the center is the domain of God. Fear, worry, hatred, lack, limitation, those things forever operate on the surface of life. They can never operate or make their way into the center of life, because the center is owned by the exaltation of God, Goddess Almighty, by the exaltation of your inner divinity. You can milk the miracle of courage even out of your fear. So let's milk a miracle. In decoding the tarot, and I like to decode the tarot largely because, again, the 19th degree of Aries and the 19th key in the tarot is the sun. And in that card, there's a child riding a white horse. You know, the white representing the illumination. And the child is a representation of both God, or let me say the sun is a representation of both God and child. Even in the 5th house of the zodiac, which is Leo's house, it's the house of creation in association with God, the creator, and it's also the house of children. That's why the Holy Scripture says, unless we become as little children, as a little child, we can't enter the kingdom of heaven. We don't get access back into the absoluteness from which we have descended unless we show up with the credentials of the inner child. Now, there's 4 keys in the tarot, and another reason why I want to speak about the tarot is because of the number 11. So there's 4 in the major arcana of the tarot. There is 4, or there's 22 cards rather in the major arcana, and 4 of them decode the tarot, the major arcana, and that is the Fool, which is key 0, that takes the journey. The Fool steps off of the cliff, which is a representation of us stepping down from the celestial heights into manifestation. So 0, the Fool, is the starting point. That's the soul that takes the journey. First step in the journey is the first key in the major arcana of the tarot, which is the Magician. The midpoint of the journey is Justice. But again, this justice is spelled J-U-S-T-I-S. Just is, not J-U-S-T-I-C-E, which is just ice. And then the final step in the journey is the World, and in some tarot decks it's called the Universe. So when we take those 4 cards and turn them into a sentence, what we have is the Fool, Magician, just is the world. The Fool, Magician, just is the world. Or the Fool, Magician, just is the universe. And the fact that the just is frequency, which is the number 11, the 11th key in the tarot, aligns with the 8th, the day upon which the solar eclipse is occurring, the 8th of April. So we have this opportunity to actualize the empowerment of that truth that we, the Fool, Magician, just is the world. We get an opportunity to recognize who we are as the whole world, aka who we are as the whole universe, who we are as the whole multiverse. That's what's available in this experience of the solar eclipse. Aries is the sign that represents the magician. And the magician is also synonymous with the shaman, aka God in the body. So we also have Mercury retrograde during this time. Mercury retrograde represents intuition, represents going within, represents quantum jumping, represents a deepening of relationship with the formless, represents healing the attachment to materiality. Mercury retrograde is an access code to the quantum field and an access code to elevated consciousness. And Mercury retrograde is an opportunity for deeper communion and communication with the spirit world. When Mercury goes retrograde, and it will be retrograde until the 25th of April, Mercury represents the outer mind, the intellectual mind. It has to do with the methodology, the systemization, the planning, the structure, the foundation. And all of that gets a little bit shaky when Mercury goes retrograde. Things of an outward nature go a bit haywire. Mercury, in its natural direct motion, is a representation of the outwardness of our intellectual being. When Mercury goes retrograde, we then come into resonance with the inwardness. And so the outer mind slows down and the inner awareness of intuition accelerates. Intuition is magnified when Mercury is retrograde. Relationship with the formless is magnified when Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is so much associated with the form of life, the outwardness of life. So with us being in a Mercury retrograde energy, we have the opportunity to align with formless. Formless creates form. I'm in my body here. You're in your bodies there. We're engaging in form. And yet it was the formlessness of our mutual desire and intention that has created this reality of our being in form. You can't grab a handful of our desire or our intention. Desire and intention are formless. And yet desire and intention are even more real than concrete form. Because desire and intention, they are the predecessor of concrete form. Formless creates form. Desire and intention creates manifestation. And so whatever it is that we desire and whatever it is that we intend, we are already in the full-on relationship with that. Because every blessing that will ever occur within our life emerges from the inner sanctum of our being. And now I want to pause for a moment of meditation. There's a whole lot more to share, and we'll be sharing a whole lot more. But I want you to tap in with me for a moment of meditation to bring about the crystallization of our empowerment and expansion through all that has thus far been spoken. Align your divine intentions with these sacred tones. Divine Creator, we align in divine awareness with the I amness of our being. And we use the power of the I am to bring into crystallization all of those realities that we desire and are intending. We align in divine awareness with every elevated version of possibility relative to the solar eclipse. We call forth the expansion of Jupiter in Taurus in conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. And we receive the expansion, Jupiter, of our elevated consciousness, Uranus. We experience the multiplication, Jupiter, of the sacred brotherhood and sisterhood, Uranus. We receive and align with the divine reality of our uniqueness of being. That part of us that says, I'm going to be me, the whole me, and nothing but me in spite of what's expected of me. We receive the elevation of consciousness that happens through the planet Uranus in Taurus, conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. We align with the elevated wisdom offered by Jupiter. We align with the benevolence of Jupiter. We align with the wisdom of Jupiter. We align with the world bridger frequency of Jupiter. We align with the cultural and racial diversity of Jupiter. The wisdom of Jupiter that says we come together to reveal one another to each other. The wisdom of relationship that says we come together to reveal one another to each other. In the supreme understanding that all of our relationships serve as mirrors. In the recognition that in this solar eclipse, there is this relationship of Venus in Aries with Pluto in Aquarius. And the Venus in Aries harmoniously relating to Pluto in Aquarius represents the alchemy of relationships. Represents healing relationship trauma and healing relationship shadows. When Venus and Pluto are in harmony with each other, we have that capacity to heal the trauma of relationships. And so we declare that. We declare and intend that all trauma in relationships is now healed. All pain in relationships now serving unto our empowerment and our expansion. We bless the pain to make it right. Reverse the tide and free the light. Pain is an angel in distress, and we free the distressed angel. And even while we are yet in very difficult relationship experiences, we turn the dial of our awareness to every broadcast of every elevated version of relationship connection where we are in supreme harmony. We call forth all of the elder versions of relationship to descend in frequency and hover just above this three-dimensional reality of our relationships. And by divine decree, we invoke the elevation of our lower frequency three-dimensional relationships to elevate into harmonic alignment with every elder version of relationship connection. We quicken the quantum waves of benevolent relationship possibility to morph into probability and now morph into actuality in the objective domain. We call forth the resonance of this vibration of Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Mars is the portal that all of the energies of the solar eclipse has to pass through, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, where the solar eclipse lies. And so the frequency of the solar eclipse has to portal through the frequency of Mars. And Mars is in Pisces, closely conjuncting Saturn in Pisces. Mars is the sex drive, the will. And Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces is harmoniously connected to both Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. And so we have the opportunity to elevate the values of sexuality from lower frequency of abuse and misuse and assault into the higher values for the harmony of Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus, pouring into Mars and Saturn conjunct in Pisces, is a quickening of elevated value. Taurus represents values and valuables. And this harmonic alignment gives us the opportunity to elevate into the awareness that values create valuables. Values, the resonance of the formless, creates valuables, the manifestation of form. Things are valuables. Money, valuables. And yet it is the formless value of intention that creates it all. And so we align in divine awareness with the powerful intention of Mars conjunct Saturn to also elevate in maturity, Saturn, to elevate in elevated governmental responsibility, Saturn. This solar eclipse is a power to bring about the spiritualization of government, but not just the governing bodies of society, but the inner sovereign government of one's own inner being. Being the divine governor of your soul. We have this availability. The Mars and Saturn in Pisces is an access code to the all-dimensionality of life, for Pisces is the frequency of formlessness ad infinitum. And that is the full-on quantum waves of infinite possibilities. Pisces is the frequency of the omnipresence, that which is evenly present everywhere. We have a greater access to the omnipresence of life, the oneness of the wholeness of life. As we are bearing witness to who we are in our creative expressions, we are of the elevated awareness that what it takes to define our creative expressions is not just what we create individually. Creation is never just about the exclusive creations of an individual, but the all-inclusive creations of the universe, portaling through the individual in creative expression. What it takes to make up what you create is everything that is created in the whole of the universe. Because any being creating something in the whole of the universe and even the multiverse are accompanied by a cellular counterpart that is the resonance of your soul and your entire soul adventure. Your soul and your entire soul adventure lives within the inner sanctum of every being throughout the multiverse. And so I invite you, beloved, to personalize and feel sacred pride in every amazing creation that is ever brought forth, all the way from the beginningless beginning into the endless end. Because you are cellular co-creator of all that is created. And God, Goddess Absolute, is cellular creator of all that you create. That God, the God resonance that lives within the cellular soul-ular resonance of your being. The solar eclipse is an opportunity to realize that the universe lives within you. Everything that is created and every resonance of joy that is felt about creation all the way from God, Goddess Absolute, to every angel, every ascended master, every cosmic being, every human, every animal, every hero, every shero, every planet, star, and galaxy. You can feel sacred pride and feeling frequency alignment with every amazing thing that is created. Join with the oneness of the wholeness in the exalted joy that is felt about creating. And let that jumpstart your individual expression of creating. You are cellular co-creator of all that is created. Align with that aspect of Chiron that is the healer. You have the opportunity, and we all have the opportunity, to elevate in the shamanic mastery of the healer. I can't even put into words the power that I've been feeling in my soul, my mind, my heart, my being, by virtue of this upcoming solar eclipse. I feel the power of it. I feel the power of it for me. I feel the power of it for you. I align in divine awareness for all of the sacred ways in which it will serve the betterment of our world. All is well in the kingdom of this divine moment. In these tone songs, I channel the fifth dimension. Music and sound is our immediate access code to the fifth dimension, a realm of elevated ascension. And fifth dimensional earth exists even now, right alongside three-dimensional earth, but with different rates of vibration. And so by virtue of these tones, we turn the dial of awareness into the elevated resonance of fifth dimensional earth. I channel the fifth dimensional earth and the fifth dimensional resonance of your individual being, the fifth dimensional resonance of my individual being. We're safe at home in heaven's bed, not catching hell on earth instead. Many worlds did we create before our dawn in fleshly state. Traveler through eternity, timelessness our legacy. Journey to an endless end, we're everywhere and every when. Nowhere did our life begin, and it shall never, never end. All times are now, all spaces here, and there is no reason to fear. While every living moment owns all past, present, future zones, we're the universal whole, with multi-selfhood as our goal. And as the spirit of the one, creation is how we have fun. So from the great and central sun, legions of our spirit sprung to form and roam the galaxy to learn from every part of me the lesson of the one in all. In pain of separations fall from high to lowest frequency, all I ever find is me. My mission lives in all dimensions, oneness being my prime intention. In all the mirrors of myself I see true love and godly wealth. Then once while traveling on the earth I forgot my birthless birth. A bitter war I waged with me, forgot that I was whole and free. Once upon eternity never did I fight with me. Yet once upon a time and space I lost my mind in human race. Not catching hell on earth instead, I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. Bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of mine. Let me taste the ecstasy I knew before the human misery. A mighty essence then I am. I wrote the pages of the master plan. Dancing on a sea of being, light and love we're all decreeing. Calling to my fallen self, time to regain heaven's wealth. Cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, God, you're really free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, goddess, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings and watch death die. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings and watch fear die. Bridge across the seas of time, shackles of our soul unbind. Awake now from illusions dread, we're safe at home in heaven's bed. Let there be God, capstone of my soul, unfailing spirit, fulfill my goals. Let there be power in the word of my mouth, I conquer with faith, dissolve fear and doubt. Let there be wisdom as the fuel of my knowledge, let it be ablaze within my heart. I am consistent in the game of life, that wisdom now finish what knowledge did start. Let there be love in the work of my hand, my life is a blessing unto God and man and woman. Let there be peace as the wings of my mind, O sun of serenity around me shine. Let there be joy of truth bubbling in my soul, O dissolver of sadness, come make me whole. Let there be abundance raining down upon me, my life be enriched with prosperity. And there is the fulfillment of let there be, for life will always give me but as far as I can see. Let there be, let there be, let there be, and there is, and there was, and there ever shall be. And there is, and there was, and there ever shall be. Thank you for co-creating with me in this decoding of the Aries solar eclipse. I invite you to join with me for the quantum quickening that happens Instagram Live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, for 7 consecutive weeks. This coming Tuesday is the 3rd episode, so be sure and join me for that. I am available for intuitive astrological readings, healing transmissions with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics. I teach Reiki and offer the Reiki healing frequencies. I have a number of music albums and a couple of books. What's been playing in the background is Sonic Ascension. My album Sonic Ascension, a tribute to Sedona. Be sure and go to my website, Astarius.com, and partake of some of these energies. It's such an honor to support your empowerment and your expansion and to co-create with you. And I'm going to exit out of here with the didgeridoo. Oh my goddess, that felt wonderful. Oh, yee. Hey. I love you so much. And I thank you for joining me in this frequency. And I'm so grateful that you're going to milk all of the miracles from this solar eclipse. And I'm so grateful that you're going to put out the frequency to raise up all of those who are in fear. And the way that we raise them up is by seeing that version of their self that is supreme courage, that then causes that vibrational resonance of elevated courage to harmonically converge with them in their state of fear, to therefore quicken their fear into the embrace of their courage. We're going home. Aho Ashe. Amen Namaste. Hotep in Lakesh. Alak in Shalom. Satnam Hariom. Rastafari. Our sacred juices are cooked and infinitely expanding. Juicetafari. Blistafari. We're going to always have many miles on our smile. Wiggle in our giggle. Tingling in our boots, laughter ever after, putting our strut, wings on our butt, always rising up at the top, one with God and all, transcendent beyond the humanly small. I see you beloveds over there. I see my beloved Naomi. Oh, I love you, sweetheart. And let's see who else we got here. I see Wizard or Wizardry. I see Gratitude. Anyway, if I didn't call your name, know that I love you so much. And I champion you. And I'm so excited that we're going to have fun with our empowerment and expansion in the dance with this solar eclipse. And I know that we can do it because I have mirrored the phonology under you. I love you, beloveds. Give yourself a big hug from me. Pinch yourself on all four cheeks, top and bottom. Sweet cheekaboo for you. All is well. Oh, my goddess. Thank you, Creator.